Bill Hunn is a very good friend of mine. He's a PDR supporter from its inception, and he's also a fellow Berniac who campaign, who walked the streets, who canvassed, who prepared. We did a whole lot together within the progressive movement. So one of the things that he does a lot of times is he brings us back to reality. I mean, many of us in the urge to make sure that the right people win elections, we let a lot of things go unsaid. And he's not that way. He sometimes we have to try to say, hold up a bit, Bill. Hold up a bit, Bill. We get you, you're right, but right is not enough. But as the polls are telling us right now, and I know a lot of people want to say, look at the polls today and remember what it was for Obama a few years back, what it was for Reagan a few years back. What I try to tell people is these are different times. So we have to look at how people are feeling and why, and how and what are the differences between the angst of today with the angst of yesteryears, the angst of yesterdecades. And if we don't, we do it at our own peril, and we may wait too long before we take corrective actions. I want you to listen to what Bill has to say here, because a lot of times, if you listen to his wordiology, you may think, well, that is some of the stuff that you hear the Republicans saying. But unfortunately, it is some of the things that we're not only hearing from Republicans, but we're hearing from Democrats. I want you to listen to him, and then we'll take it on the other side. Hey, this is Bill Hunn from the Humboldt Area Democrats. Bill has some issues that he wants to discuss. In fact, he had a prescient question that I think every Democrat should ask every American citizen. Talk.
How do you feel when you leave the grocery store?
Well, as it turns out, you said that question was posted somewhere.
Yes.
And that there were 137 comments. Tell me a little bit about those answers.
They were all negative. They were all, inflation is eating away at my disposable income. I'm wondering how I'm going to feed my family at the end of the month. And all comments to that effect. The average voter is not feeling a good economy.
Let me tell you something, Bill. I gave a rant on Daily Kos that created one of those huge amount of comments where I stated that Democrats have to go out there and stop talking about issues about how, just like you mentioned there, the economy is great and all the numbers are great. You have to be out there saying why these people are feeling what they are feeling, and why are they feeling what they're feeling. Please tell me.
What was the great question that Reagan asked at the end of one of the debates?
Are you doing better today than you did yesterday? Something to that effect.
4 years ago.
Yeah.
Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? I think that question won the election for him.
Right. And if that answer isn't what it's supposed to be, what you're supposed to be doing is campaigning on the issues that say, this is why it isn't better, and this is why we are going to do, how we're going to make it better, correct?
I don't believe they want to. They have to pass legislation that directly benefits the working class. And get Bidenomics is nothing more than another version of trickle-down.
Explain.
Instead of doing it with tax cuts, they're doing it with subsidies. They're giving money to the corporate world, hoping that some of it trickles down to the working class.
And explain, because there's something else interesting. A lot of those policies that were passed during the COVID are starting to expire right when they're around election time. And isn't it true that people are starting to feel the pain of that expiration?
Well, inflation eats away. When inflation increases faster than your wages, your impression of how you're doing declines.
Bill Hunn.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, I get it. The numbers are great. And we take a look at how that the average wage is growing faster than inflation. All those things are true. But what is also true is the disparity continues. What is also true is that these changes in people's state of being, in their financial state of being, isn't distributed evenly among those, specifically those who want to vote for you. And Bill points out something important. A lot of all these benefits, why do you think we have a bipartisan infrastructure bill? Not because Republicans want it to be bipartisan, because it more than likely assisted more of the business class than anyone else. All those yes, it's going to create jobs. Yes, it's going to be creating a few better paying jobs. But the people that are cleaning house are those who own these companies, etc. When he talks about the wage increases, again, if we have 10% of the people get their wages increased by 10%, and everybody else get their wage increased by 2%, the combined increase in wages looks like 6 or so percent. But the reality is that's not the case. It is skewed somewhere else. So we have to look at all the big picture, and we have to go where people are. We have to talk to people, and we have to make sure that the policies we are going to support going forward support the people. The problem is getting policies passed for the people is so much more difficult than getting policies passed that make businesses happy. That is why we have to educate us all, so that we force politicians to do what's right. Yesterday, Bill, we had one of our state reps at the meeting last night, and he really questioned every single amendment, including the amendments that Democrats were supporting, because what he noticed was that, yes, we're supporting these policies, but it always seems when it comes to making sure everybody have broadband, it first satisfied the corporations who are going to provide broadband. When it comes to all these features to help people, it's as if the money has always got to be filtered through those with means. Bill Hunn has his statement may seem harsh many times, difficult to hear, but something we better take heed to, because he represents the Democratic base as well. And he is in a community that sees some of these issues. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number 1, subscribe to our channel. And number 2, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.